Hello, seminarians. It is the week of the SAA. So we are excited to get to talk with you a little bit about our plans for this Saturday's seminar. We're just going to walk you through briefly what some of the logistics for the seminar are, and give you an idea of a couple of things we want you to think about as you prepare for our conversation together.
So as you know, Lindsay and I will not be in Florida with those of you who are celebrating in person, but we will be with you via Zoom for about half the time that you're together. We will begin our seminar time with time for those of you who are in person to explain to any auditors we may have what is happening, and time for those of us online to get captions going and get set up. Then we will join one another for about an hour of hybrid exchange. After that, we will diverge into two groups, an in-person group and a remote group, to continue the discussion in a smaller, more intimate context and to interact more with auditors in either place.
Our plan for that big group discussion is, you've spent a lot of really excellent time talking about each other's papers in granular detail, and we do expect you to talk about one another's papers in the small groups as well. So just to prepare you for that sort of two-part conversation. First, we're going to tell you the two sort of big questions that will guide our collective discussion so that you can be thinking on it, mulling it over in the coming days, so you're sort of ready for that discussion. But we're also going to tell you that the small groups that you divide into will not match up with the small groups that you exchanged feedback about already. It'll be determined by whether you're in person or on Zoom. And so if you haven't yet, we do ask that you read over the papers of the entire seminar so that you're ready to have those individual paper discussions with the people you have not likely had those conversations with yet. So those are your two instructions. Here is the first of the questions that will guide our large group meeting. We want you to reflect back to the beginning of the seminar. We asked you at the very beginning, what brought you here? What were the interests that drew you to this seminar on Shakespeare's other disability plays? And now we're kind of asking the bookend to that question. What do you know now that you didn't know at the beginning of the seminar? And especially, what idea or concept or methodology have you begun to think about or work with that you want to continue with in the future? What are you going to take and grow from this seminar in your own work?
The other big question we have for you is less about your work as individual scholars and more about the field of early modern and pre-modern disability studies. We'd ask you then to think about methodologies, trajectories, texts, contexts, and large directions that you see the field moving into as we move out of this now 2-year seminar space. There's been a lot of stuff that we've talked about in the seminar. And so on the one hand, we want you to think about your own work and what will happen with that. And on the other hand, we want you to think about the field and where you think it might go, what you would like to see, what you would like to invite, and perhaps what you might like to leave behind.
So those are the big things that we want you to do this week: to read everyone's papers if you haven't yet, and to think about these two guiding questions that will lead our discussion on Saturday. Just a reminder, it begins at 4 p.m. on 4 p.m. Eastern. Very important. Get your time zones right. Yeah. And we'll leave a little bit of time at the beginning to explain things to auditors, as Bellee mentioned. Those of you who are going to be in person, we'll be reaching out this week also to talk about a couple of logistical things that we want to coordinate with you to help make your work there as our representatives smoother and easier. We also want to put you in touch. We've reached out to other people who do early modern disability work who would love to meet up in person. And so we're going to put you in touch with those folks so that you can have an even richer in-person component to the seminar. And last of all, we would remind you to keep an eye on your mailboxes, your swag packages that let you feel connected conference-wise, whether you're going to be in person or you're going to be on Zoom, should be showing up in the next day or so. So keep an eye out for that.
Yes. And thank you, as always, for being such wonderful seminar participants. We are so excited about meeting with you on Saturday, again, 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's Florida time, even for those of us who are not in Florida. And so we'll see you then. We will be sending emails this week. So look for those, and we're looking forward to it.
Safe travels to those of you who are traveling.
Bye, everybody.